This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Friday, October 30th, 2015, Springtime for Grifters. Now, what is a grifter? A grifter is someone who's trying to sell a get-rich-quick scheme. And what they do is they have to find someone gullible who will believe all the crap that they're saying, give them a lot of money, and then the grifter takes off. One of the great movies of all time was The Flim Flam Man. I was going to do a thing on that a while back. I can't remember why I didn't. But Dr. Krugman aptly points out that even at the start of the debates from the other night, last night, I guess, it was that Ben Carson had a relationship with a company called Manatech or something like that. It was a nutritional supplement company that's completely bogus. They spent about $7 million paying restitution to those that they had scammed. And he was getting money from them. And of course, he denied it completely. And it's been very well proven that, hey, guess what? He was getting money from them to do that type of thing. And that's what the article was all about, is that Republicans are grifters. They have this get-rich-quick scheme to everybody, and they're trying to sell you something that really isn't there, you know. And here's the thing. The way they're operating now, they don't have any consequences for their actions. So what you have here is you have someone like Carson, and he's talking to a group of people, you know, who don't want to hear what the truth is. They don't want to hear what the other side is saying about it. They're not necessarily wanting to look at both sides. They want to take it hook, line, and sinker. And the fact that someone who is a surgeon can get his hands this close on being president of the United States at this point in time, when he's had fallacy after fallacy, error after error, you know, and it comes out and it comes to play almost every single time he opens his mouth. And of course, this is what has been going on with the Republican Party a lot lately. Now, just a couple other things on the grifting aspect of it all, is that number one, Ted Cruz came out and basically said, oh, we need to go back to the gold standard. Well, who is a big Cruz supporter? Well, that would be Glenn Beck. And what does Glenn Beck do? He sells gold on Goldline or some crap like that, where they sell gold, but at highly inflated prices. And then if you want to sell it later on, they say that the market's really bad for it right now. You really got to hold on to it. If they have to buy it from you, they got to buy it from you at even a higher price. So it's just a scam. And I think that they got in a lot of trouble too. And of course, that's the whole idea is by these grifters. They're selling nothing. They got nothing behind what they're going, but they have a willing audience who likes what they hear and is willing to follow them. Now, back in the old days, we would call them snake oil salesmen. I like to refer to them as hucksters and jivers. That's what they do, is they huck and they jive. And they're takers. They want to take as much as they possibly can. And Marco Rubio came out with this incredible thing where he said that he was going to give like $6 trillion in tax cuts, and that would immediately spark an incredible amount of economic activity that would pay for his tax deductions that he had. No way remotely close was that even going to be coming close to be true. And he defended it to the hilt. Now, I read an article the other day, I can't remember exactly who from, but it sort of solidified something about me in reference to Marco Rubio, that's what he is. He's a grifter, he's a huckster, he's a jiver, you know, and he has, the way he took down Jeb Bush, they had that planned, he had his response, he knew what it was, he looked him right in the eye and he said it, and he was full of shit and he knew it. And when Marco Rubio squeamed out of his little thing in reference to one of his properties that went into foreclosure, he tried to blame it on other people who were against him within the party and the mainstream media, and of course Democrats. And of course, what he was really talking about was something that had been decided in court that he had foreclosed, which was what we would call absolute truth. Now, for me, the real reason why I really like this article by Dr. Krugman is when he said Springtime for Grifters. It reminded me of this great movie back in the 60s, but with Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder, and it was called The Producers. And what they decided to do is they didn't have any money, and they had to produce a play. And to produce a play, you got to raise a lot of money. So what they figured they'd do, and I think they owed money to a lot of people, what they figured they'd do is they'd get an incredible amount of money, put on an absolutely horrific play, and it would close within a day or two. And then, of course, all that money would be written off, and they wouldn't have to pay those people. But that would give them a big windfall. And of course, the name of the play that they decided it to be was that they were going to have a play that was actually a musical about Hitler, and they were going to call it Springtime for Hitler. And they had the ladies and the men in the whatever outfit that they have from Germany, Levenhosen or whatever, and they have a pretend tank in there, and they're singing about Hitler. And of course, at the beginning, everyone hated it, but by the intermission, everyone loved it, and they knew they were in trouble, completely in trouble, because they actually delivered on something they didn't want to deliver on. And of course, that's what would happen if the United States believed any of this stuff from any of these grifters. I mean, it's a zero-sum game, and they're selling snake oil. They're selling something that cannot even remotely come close to happening, but they have a captive audience who believes virtually everything that they have to say. Thankfully, there are more people out there that know they're full of dog crap, and hopefully whoever gets the nomination, they'll continue to say that because there won't be any consequences for them saying that. Hopefully the general electorate will be much smarter and vote whoever comes in on the Democratic side.